but we're going to go to the middle of the Western Conference because, as I mentioned earlier, Steph Curry had one of his best games in his career, dropping 52 points last night. He was in contention to break Klay Thompson's three-point record, but he kind of slowed down towards the very end of that game. Golden State right now is the 5th seed, so they're slotted to play the Lakers in the first round. Oh my God. Like, that would be probably one of the greatest, again, first round matchups we've ever seen. And, maybe one last time, LeBron versus Steph. Just let me know what you think about how far this team can go in the Western Conference playoffs.
Man, for everyone's sake of like having the biggest stars in like the conference semis, I really hope that the Rockets like end up bottoming out these last couple games and the Nuggets and Lakers pass them. Currently, the Nuggets are 2 games behind them. The Lakers are 2.5 games behind them. Because in that scenario, we maybe get a Final Four in the Western Conference where it's OKC, Denver, Los Angeles, and Golden State. Like, that would be absolutely like beautiful to watch, first of all. And second of all, I feel like nobody really has like that much confidence in this Rockets team. Obviously, they've been, and which is so unfortunate for them because they get dinged on a lot because of the fact that they're such a young team and they came out of nowhere this season. But no one really believes in them, and they're not getting any national headlines, which I think they might take to heart. And I can definitely see them being this Warriors team. But I just want to start there. They're 8-2. The Rockets are 8-2 in their last 10 games. They've been playing really good basketball all season long, and they're more than deserving of one of the top seeds. But the Lakers and the Nuggets are right on their tails. If the Rockets end up dropping back to that 4 seed, I think the Warriors have a great shot at them. And I think that is like possibly their only route to getting to the conference semis, just because of the fact that the teams in front of them are so good. That Nuggets team, it doesn't feel like Jokic is going out in the first round. That Lakers team has been like peaking at the exact right time. Maybe like they've definitely struggled a little bit with LeBron out, and then the whole like Luka getting adjusted at the beginning, but like that team can play really, really well. And if you have LeBron and Luka, I remember we were having this conversation when Luka just first got traded. It feels like just individually, LeBron and Luka can each win you 1 game, if not 2. So that just means if they could have their role players step up to the plate, Jerry Vanderbilt, all the guys that make up the rest of the Lakers team step up for a decent. Austin Reeves has been playing really, really well as of recently, and just in general, just has had a really good season. So it feels like they wouldn't be able to get past a Nuggets or Lakers team. Rockets definitely seems a lot more doable, but I think their ceiling is maybe the Western Conference semis, which I hate to say because since getting Jimmy Butler, they're 19-4. Like, they have been a really, really good team, and that can't be underscored either. Jimmy Butler has obviously made a bunch of finals runs, is a really, really good player. I watched him on the Heat as a Heat fan. He does extraordinary things in the playoffs. The Eastern Conference that we were running through might have been a little bit weaker, and that like tended to like it helps put them in that position. I just don't see them making it past the semis, and that's my take on Golden State. Really good team though.
So yeah, like having a matchup or a Final Four, if you will, in the Western Conference with OKC, Denver, LA, the Lakers, and Golden State would be really good probably for like NBA ratings, where this season started when we were talking about, oh my God, everything's slipping. We need a face of the league. There's just been so much of that outside talk that hasn't really had much to do with basketball surrounding the NBA this year. That feels like it would solve a lot. But also having a first round matchup, I think, would be really helpful to the league if it's Lakers and Warriors, because you're just kind of due for some duds around the league. And those games are more spread out as well. So I think it could help a little bit there. But yeah, I'm actually in agreement. I think the Rockets play really good basketball, but they do feel like they are maybe still 1 year away. And we just don't know exactly what their ceiling is either. Like, it could be that they can take care of business in the first round, maybe 6 games or something like that, beat some of those other teams. And then what does it lead you if they go match up against the Nuggets or even OKC if they do fall back to like the 4th seed or something like that? Like, who exactly can they go through to make it to the Western Conference Finals? I don't know if they have that. This Golden State Warriors team, I'm in the similar boat with how I feel about them as how I feel about the Rockets. I don't know what the ceiling is, so I think we're in the same spot right with them with that. Like, they are 19-4, like you said, with Jimmy Butler since acquiring him. But can they beat a team like Denver? I don't know. I don't even know if they could beat the Lakers. And then it's like I don't think they could beat OKC, but maybe they could get on a young team like the Rockets and they could steal a couple and they could win that series. maybe I definitely think they could beat the Grizzlies because they're slipping right now, and then any of the teams that are coming out of the play-in, I think as well. But peak, if Steph can go on some sort of 2022 run and Jimmy Butler can actually be the guy that we saw on the Heat when they were rolling through, then maybe it's a little bit of a different conversation because then you got the rest of those role players and it feels like a different spot with plenty of experience as well. And Steve Kerr, maybe they could do something. But right now, I would really only expect maybe getting out of the first round and then Western Conference semis for that team. And then I just want to respect the Rockets. I want to give them that respect because it was kind of the same situation with OKC last year, where you're thinking, all right, this team's going to go out eventually to somebody, and it was kind of like that kind of was the case.
Yeah,
but I would say Western Conference semis. I don't know if they could beat the Lakers. I got to be honest in the first round.
The Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put any money on the Warriors beating the Lakers in the first round. Unfortunately, I think that series could go 6-7, but but yeah, I don't. Sorry, but yeah, I don't see the Warriors beating the Lakers. Unfortunately, that's no diss to them, and they could definitely do it. But I also just oh man, we're bashed on the Rockets here, and they've had a great season, but there's got to be a but with the Rockets, and I think the but is the fact that if you look at those top four teams, you go through the Thunder, Rockets, Nuggets, Lakers. If you're any of those bottom four teams, which currently are the Warriors, Grizzlies, Timberwolves, and Clippers, if you're looking at one of those four teams that you want to play in the first round, it has to be the Rockets. The OKC has a lot more experience this year. They're 15 games ahead of anybody else in the Western Conference right now. Denver has Nikola Jokic. It feels like it. I need a call the next time Jokic gets knocked out of the first round. It just doesn't feel like it's a possibility if Jokic is completely healthy. Like he will will that team to the Western Conference semifinals, and then the Lakers have a pretty solid base around them right now. So if you are looking I just feel like the talks around those teams right now are probably like looking forward into the playoffs. If you're looking to play any of those top four teams and don't really know where 2 through 4 are going to be slotted, you're probably hoping for the Rockets, and I think that's a generally understood thing.
Yeah, I mean, if the Lakers play you, they probably have the best two players in a series, and that is really damning for any young team to try to beat. Where it's like, oh my God, so you're telling me I got to get on LeBron James and Luka Doncic, and then also Austin Reeves, who if he was on like a bottom feeder NBA team or like a play-in Eastern Conference team would be averaging like 23 points per game or something like that. Like, oh, I have to handle that for all of the holes that they have to patch up. That's really difficult. And then, oh, I got to go against Golden State with a 4-time champion Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, who has willed two Heat teams to the finals, and then a ton of experience from top to bottom on that roster. Like, yeah, I'm, and then Denver and OKC are legitimate championship contenders. Yeah, if I'm any other team, I'd probably, including those teams, would want to play the Houston Rockets. Right now, the Rockets are slotted to either play the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Clippers, or whichever team can get that 8th seed. If maybe that's Dallas, maybe that's Sacramento. Like I said earlier in this podcast, I don't know if Dallas or Sacramento are. I don't think they're going to get out of the plan at all. I don't think they're capable of it, but maybe Phoenix if they can ever get their act together, but I don't think they ever will. But Golden State right now, I think we're both in agreement. Western Conference semis, that's the ceiling.
Yeah, that's a ceiling. I just wanted to give them like a little bit more credit because this segment was supposed to be like, or just like this part of it was supposed to be like a credit to them, and they've had a decent season. They had a highs the very start of the season. They were like one of the best teams in the whole Western Conference, maybe competing with OKC a little bit towards the beginning of the season. I don't know if you remember that. It feels like
the first like 15 games.
Maybe. Yeah, right. It feels like so long ago since that happened, and there's a major slip, and that's when Steph Curry was like, "This is my final run. I need like some help around me." And then the Andrew Wiggins trade on their side, and more importantly, Jimmy Butler trade and what they got in return. And since then, like obviously, like they've been like one of the hottest teams in the NBA. Like they have one of the best records. 19-4 is, if not the best record, obviously one of them. So Jimmy Butler's made a huge impact on that team, and he only continues to get better in the playoffs. So could I see them winning a series? Definitely. Could I see them winning 2 series, making it to the Western Conference Finals? Probably a little bit less likely. But I mean, 53 points. Steph Curry is still that guy. He can shoot. He was gunning for that record for a little bit. Definitely, I think he took over 23s that game. So definitely, a really good performance from him. And since he since he won his first championship in 2014-2015 season, he's averaged at least 25 points in the playoffs. So he steps his game up in the playoffs. Obviously, the most recent performance when they won the championship was he averaged over 30 points per game in that postseason. So Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry both elevate their games in the playoffs, and it'd be a joy to watch maybe one last time go around for Steph Curry. But do I think they have it in them to even reach the Western Conference Finals? I think that could be a little bit of a stretch just because of however like everybody else that's around them.